I've always been skeptical of big influencers and their products whenever they announce it, and rightfully so, because I've always valued transparency and honesty above everything else.
奴らにとっての言葉は人類を欺く術だ。
That being said, I watched the anime that gigguk released, which was called Baan, and in all honesty, I have to say that it's actually pretty good.
Not bad, not bad. Now you.
So let's talk about it. Anyways, subscribe if you don't want tourists ruining anime spaces.
Let's up those numbers!
Baan is an anime which will hit you in all the right places of your heart. If you are just a common person, the main characters of the story are just two people trying to find a place in the world where they can belong to. It isn't your usual isekai anime where the main character gets isekai to another world and gets powers and a harem of beautiful girls. That being said, I like this genre of isekai too, nothing wrong with that. Eminence in the Shadows is definitely top tier.
And I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
But Baan is just about two normal people who go out of their home to find a place where they can belong to. The parallels between the two main characters was absolutely amazing. At first, it was Daichi who had left his home to find a place where he could belong to. His parents were worried about him, which was rightfully so, because any parent would be worried for their child if they were leaving their home for the first time. It happens a lot in Asia, so I'm glad that it was actually represented and shown here. Him moving to a different world to actually find a place where he could belong to actually worked out really nice for him. He learned how to cook and survive there, living and integrating with the people there too, becoming an important part of their life in the process. But the turning point of his life was him meeting Ren here when she was escaping the events that had destroyed and taken away her family. It ended up with him becoming her father figure, which was really wholesome because on that day, he found a place where he could belong to, which gave him a purpose in his life to raise that girl who he had found as a father figure. As for Rin, well, the circle of life followed with her. From the moment she met Daichi, she thought that she was a burden to him, which was so wrong of her to think like that because she was someone who gave him a purpose in life, and thinking that she was a burden to Daichi was really wrong here. But I don't blame her because a lot of kids sometimes do think that they are a burden to their parents too, so it was captured nicely here. The parallels between her and Daichi was really good because in the start you can see her leaving her home, saying goodbye to her Daichi who was older, who she referred to her as her dad. It was way too heartwarming really if you rewatch it again and again to understand what was going on here. And just like Daichi, she too left her world to go to his world instead now, so this was basically a reverse isekai right now, as she went there to live a normal life because she didn't want to be a burden to Daichi. Funny thing was that when she was in that world, she literally applied to 13 jobs and got rejected. No way, right? This is so real because I've seen people apply to job after job after job only to get rejected all of the times. Good God, honestly, if I was her, I would have absolutely lost my mind and given up, thinking that job market wasn't for me. Good thing for her is that she got accepted on her 14th try, but I don't think that call center job was worth it though, because the client that she got there was absolutely insane and shouted on her. I will be honest here, I don't think anyone has this level of patience to actually deal with people shouting at them like this, so props to her. But this was absolutely hilarious how she ended up accidentally destroying the communication headset of her and everyone around her. But judging by this next scene, I think that she actually felt really defeated, considering that she was crying and trying to cheer herself up. But I have to say, this scene was so real. If you know how the corporate scene in Japan, Korea, or other countries in Asia work, you will find a lot of people defeated due to their usual job and work environment. So this wasn't inaccurate, it was way too real, and I feel like a lot of people might relate to this character here. But the transition and parallels between her and Daichi was done really nicely. They had shown both of them trying to adjust to their day-to-day life while living in the world, all the way to the flashbacks where Rin had encountered Daichi in the past, where he ended up becoming her father figure, which I had earlier mentioned had changed both of their lives for the better. But the best part of this anime was this one, where Anne invites her over to her house house to talk to her. It was really heartwarming to see family values and the value of life being shown here. It was really amazing. Definitely something which would absolutely make Shinzo Abe smile from the afterlife. It was absolutely peak and wholesome indeed. I like how Anne was initially here for simply a few days, but in the end she ended up settling there and started a family. I also like how perceptive Anne was here, where she could see and understand what Rin was feeling right now. She missed her father, which was why she gave her a phone, which was Daichi's, where he had left her a message which was really emotional, I would say that. He was missing her so badly, but he was accepting of her moving out because he too was someone like her in his younger days, looking for a place to fit into. But in the end, he was that too, so he would welcome her back with open arms, saying that she could come back home anytime that she wanted. It was really good of him to say that, which didn't really put any pressure on her, which was really nice because it helped her reach a conclusion for herself, and she decided that she would return home to him to meet him again. And this final segment here showed all of it, which was really beautiful. She even met her grandparents, who were Daichi's parents, and handed them his phone. They didn't have to make it so emotional and good here. Like really, what was this final scene? It was so good and nicely done, with her coming back home to Daichi and enjoying their time together. It was absolutely perfect and I have no words. You have to see it for yourself to actually understand what significance it held, and it ended up with them eating together and reminiscing on the past. All in all, this short anime was way too good for it being made by an anime YouTuber. It was really short, compact, but it delivered on the emotional value that it had promised right from the start. The parallels between two characters, Daichi and Rin, who fulfill each other's purposes in their life, showing their struggles in their own life, which often reflects the struggles of people in the real world. This is where it had me sold on it, because initially, as mentioned, I was skeptical of how it was going to deliver on whatever it was trying to accomplish, but after watching it, I can say for sure that it delivered on every promises that it had made on a short period of time. It was too good and I loved it, and the values that this anime promoted too, it was too good to not watch it. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. What are you even doing if you haven't watched something that doesn't even take so much of anyone's time? Good on Gigguk for actually making this. Huge W for him. I've always been a critic of big creators and whatever shady practices that they have done, but I'm also fair when it comes to giving people the credit of the work that they do if it is really nice. And as a fair critic, I will say that Baan is definitely a must watch. Go ahead and watch it. That's absolutely worth it. It is a really good work by Gigguk. Huge W for him, and I'm so happy that it actually succeeded. Anyways guys, that's about it for this video. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you all think? And do leave a like and a subscribe if you want more of my content. That's about it. Peace out. Have fun.